How's everybody doing? Yeah. It's Dukes and Bell. It's a tough Monday, man, because there's so many things we have to talk about today, and we will at 2:00. We invite you to join us live on 92.9 The Game. If you can't, make sure you download the Odyssey app and you do it there. Of course, Day, our executive producer, Big O, our engineer, Mike, and I are fed up. And we know many of you are, but we got to discuss the downfalls of this game yesterday, and it just felt like this was a complete crap show. And, you know, when you talk about Falcon fans, Mike, we talk about these abused relationships we've been in, right? This abusive relationship. We continue to be abused,
right?
Even though the coaching staff has changed, even though the personnel has changed, it's the same thing. And so as we start today, guys, and Day said we've already had comments. We'll read as many of those as we can on the air today. So make sure if you can't, call in, which we'll take plenty of your calls, make sure that you send your questions and we'll answer as many of those questions as we can. So we'll go around the room, man. Mike, I'm going to start with you, obviously, and get your initial take on this because there's so much to unpack.
Well, on the positive side, at least we don't have a quarterback controversy. Man, just three and outs. And, it's funny because offensive line and our calling card, physicality, goes out the window. We're going to play a lot of Raheem audio. I didn't like his stuff after the game, Carl, to sit there and go, they went out and smashed us. They had a beat on whatever we were doing defensively. They had a beat on what we were doing on special teams. 2 weeks in a row. It's like, gee whiz, got out physical. Get them next week. Where's the counter? Where is the counterattack? Okay. I mean, look, a bad day for Bijan. It's not Zac Robinson's fault that Bijan fumbles the ball off his knee. But, I mean, it was just awful. And defensively, look, JT Bertrand, he's got limitations. You can't have him out there and pass. Miami exploited it. It's like they ran the same kind of pick play about 4 times where try D'Angelo Malone, try Helms, something, go to plan B or C. It's almost like the Falcons go with their game plan, guys. And as soon as something goes south, they literally throw up their hands and they have no counter.
Day?
I mean, very disappointing, man. And ironically, for this one, it felt like it was more of a home field advantage for Tua, because if you remember the last time he was in the Benz, he threw for 3 touchdowns and I think he might have had one interception and just shy of 200 yards. But it felt more of like a home game for him, and we felt like we were the road right team, just the way we looked. The offense just wasn't dynamic in any sense of the form. I know that we didn't have Drake. I get Penix was out, but everything was very, very basic. And so when you say, they keep talking about the predictability thing, but guys, when this team lined up snap after snap, everything, you almost just could tell what was going to happen. And again, there was just no dynamic to this offense in yesterday's loss.
Oh, what do you think, bro?
I'm going to reference some people who are much smarter than me and better than me at this stuff. One Mike Conti tweeted yesterday, the Falcons offense the last 28 possessions. They have 10 punts, 6 of those are 3 and out, 7 turnovers, including downs, 3 field goals, 2 drives ended in kneel downs, 2 touchdowns. Last 28 possessions. 2 ended by time expiration, 1 blocked field goal, 1 ended with penalty time runoff. That was last week with Penix throwing the ball and getting the intentional grounding. So they have 23 points in the last 28 possessions of football. That is absolutely dreadful. Like, at some point or another, Arch was on with the morning shift today, and he referenced that the entire time, every time Bijan got the football, the Dolphins sold out. They just, every time it's like, he's got the football, we're going to key on him. And at no point did Zac Robinson, Raheem, anybody that was calling plays, that's a position of authority, decide to go like, hey, okay, maybe if we give them the appearance of doing this, we'll do something different. Kind of like what Miami was doing to Atlanta on offense, giving you the appearance of one thing and then doing something else. Flipping around on defense, DJ Shockley yesterday was studio up there at Fox 5, and Miles Robinson tweeted out about how there's a book on the Falcons defense right now. You saw it last week with Shanahan. This week with Mike McDaniel, 2 guys who've been under that Sean McVay tree, similar to Raheem and Zac Robinson. The toss crack last night that they ran several times in that ball game was very effective for Miami, similar to what the 49ers did last night too. So you referenced the fact that we don't have a counterpunch. It's teams have the book now on A, how to attack this Falcons offense, and B, how to attack this Falcons defense. And our coaching staff is not realizing that. So instead of trying to adapt and change, they just keep running head first to the brick wall, expecting it to be different. And it's not going to be different at all. It's not going to be different.
Carl, real quick, we fired Jimmy Lake in the offseason because he hired a bad defensive coordinator. He's hired a bad offensive coordinator. Zac Robinson is a rookie OC. Last year, he had the benefit of Kirk Cousins. He's not helping Penix Jr. when Penix is out there, and hopefully he'll bounce back this week. But everything Oren just said, everyone sees what we're doing. Everyone nationally is talking about what we're doing, except for the folks at Flowery Branch. Day and I were saying before the show here, we need to get some outside help. You need to go get some outside help. Because if you want to maintain your job, Raheem Morris, you need to get some more brain power on this, Carl. It's a bad coaching staff that's getting outcoached week in, week out. Injury, schminjury. 49ers beat us without their best defensive player. Carolina just put 200 yards of running up in Carolina. Buffalo just went up to Carolina and did what we couldn't do. I'm just so over this coaching staff.
By the way, Divine Diablo must be the single most. Oh, my bad. My bad. Go ahead, Dede.
Oh, no. You're good. Well, no, I was just going to ask you guys, do you and we can get into it in the show because I did put it in the rundown, but do you guys think they were premature in hiring Zac Robinson as offensive coordinator? Remember, he was only 5 years in to his NFL coaching career. And that was all as an assistant.
Yeah, look, and you notice I'm being very quiet because I have a lot of shit to say on the show, okay? And I will, trust me.
Those eyes.
But to answer your question, Day, this was once again what guys do in the NFL. It was a friend hire. He was on the staff. He knew him. He trusted him. He hired him. This is another mistake. And instead of going out and getting the most qualified individual for your second opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL, Raheem, you did the friend route. Mm-hmm. You did it with the defensive coordinator last year. You did it with the offensive coordinator. And this year, the offensive coordinator is coming back to bite you in the ass. So now we find ourselves in a situation where everybody's wondering, how do we change this offense? Let me tell you guys a secret. You don't change an offense 8 weeks in. Fundamentally, this is built. You have to be able to maneuver and critique little small things that make your team better. You're not going to recreate a new offense 8 weeks into the season when all offseason, this is what you practice, all minicamp, all OTAs, every day. So the effectiveness of this offense has got to come from the creativity of how you change the minute things. To Oren's point about putting Bijan in the backfield and, hey, we're about to run the ball, but that predictability is not. We're not running the ball. So Day, this is now where hiring your friends, and look, everybody wants to work with their friends. Everybody, I get it, but sometimes it's a mistake. And this right now is turning out to be a mistake for Raheem Morris from the standpoint of, I think he's qualified. I think he can do the job. He probably talked to Sean McVay about this. McVay was like, cool, you can take him because coaches are limited on how many guys you can take with you when you take a job. And he probably went, okay, cool. At the end of the day, he did not get the best qualified offensive coordinator to come in here and really do the job. And now it's rearing its ugly face.
And again, guys, if you're Arthur Blank, and I talked about this today on social media, again, we're going to take your phone calls. We're going to get some passion. There's a lot of storylines in college. We'll get to that in a second over the weekend too. But it's an angry Monday because, Carl, I'm walking out of Mercedes-Benz, and I know the guys who, Mike, you say this every year, but this is the year where I'm like, you know what? Why am I going to do this? We'll talk about it in Guy Talk at 4:40. Maybe it's time to just give up the tickets and just move on and just watch Sunday Ticket at home. And maybe once in a while I'll go to Mercedes-Benz for a big matchup.
You're going to Berlin in 2 weeks, Mike.
Yeah, nothing changes. Arthur Blank, God bless him. He won us an MLS championship. He doesn't know how to win in the NFL. Uninspired hires. The Raheem Morris hire was uninspired. I was arguing with a guy today on Twitter. He goes, dude, you signed off on it. I wanted Harbaugh. I know maybe that was a never going to happen, Carl, but this was it was a very mediocre hire. And now it's another year wasted. We wasted 2 seasons now. And Arthur Blank's not getting any younger. We don't have a bye week if you're going to fire Raheem Morris. I mean, I don't know how they approach this now. All of a sudden, we're playing 2 6-2 teams. We thought we were going to be patty cakes with New England and the Colts, respectively, coming up.
Yeah.
So what disappointed y'all?
I'll answer that, Day. But I think, Mike, at this point, if we lose the next 2 weeks, the bye week thing doesn't matter. You just got to do what you got to do, and you ride it out to the end of the season. It's going to be a crap show the rest of the way for us as fans. But if we lose the next 2 weeks, it doesn't matter. You got to do what you got to do. And we'll see if they have the balls to do it. We'll see if they have the stones to do it. I thought this week was a must win. And I said that. Raheem said to us, every win's a must win, right? Every week is humble pie. Well, we're getting hit in the face with it again. I think the most disappointing thing, Day, for me yesterday, it's our pre-show guys, and we appreciate you being here. Look, I yelled enough yesterday, and I probably won't yell today. I'm just telling you.
Is the bottle empty?
But I'm freaking hot, and this is where I'm at. What was the most disappointing thing was the effort. Yeah. And I say that because knowing how important this game was, and Mike's right, despite the fact that some of our stars are on the sidelines, there's no excuse. This is the damn NFL, man. Guys get hurt all the time. Cam Scatterboo got carted off yesterday. Giants quit. I mean, like it happens. So I think for me, it was the effort. This is the effort we got against this team.
Right.
Like that's the most disappointing thing. And when you start talking about effort or lack thereof, that gets you fired. Mm-hmm. If you don't execute and a team outplays you 1 week and it's a close game, that's fine. But when you're telling me we got no points against Carolina, 10 points against the beat-up 49er team, and what you showed yesterday, 3 losses, half our season has been games where the effort has been lackluster. And again, I'm not questioning whether guys went out and played hard. I'm just talking about the overall input into the game plan and how it looked to Falcon fans. Did that look great to you guys? Did that offensive game plan look great to you guys? So that's the most disappointing thing to me.
We just don't counterpunch. I mean, guys, as I said, so every week, well, geez, they had a better game plan. We'll get them next week. That's what I'm saying. I'm not hearing anything from Raheem Morris. I'm hearing just blah, 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 blah. I need some leadership. I mean, it's on me. Who else are we going to blame? You're the head coach. I mean, the buck stops with you. I mean, this is just another year. And for Falcon fans, we've seen this story before. This is 8 years we're going on without the playoffs. Right now, we're the 11th seed in the NFC. Right? We lose a bunch of tiebreakers with some of the teams ahead of us. I mean, it's not like the season's over, guys. But what have you seen in the last 2 weeks that makes you think this team can be fixed by this coaching staff?
Especially with the next 2 games coming up, because the Patriots, to your point, all of a sudden they look like a team that's going to win that division. And the Colts, my goodness. I sent y'all the thing the last night on Jonathan Taylor. Like, that's the best player in football right now.
True.
So, and Carl, to your point, Miami came in here. They don't have Tyreek. Darren Waller was down. Right. Like, they didn't have some of their best offensive weapons, and they still made us look boo-boo.
Yeah.
It's the worst run defense in the league, guys.
Almost 900 yards they've given up this year on the ground. Almost 900 yards they've given up defensively.
Well, and again, it speaks to the Zac Robinson situation we're discussing here, is we went away from the run way too early yesterday. The game wasn't in the, when the game was in the balance, you could say, hey, we could still run the ball. We just completely went away from it. So your running back made a mistake. You don't go away from him. You keep giving him the ball. It's like, this is the most frustrating. And I don't even know how the hell Tyler Algier feels. You want to talk about frustrated. My guess is over the last few weeks, Tyler Algier is like, screw this, he's a team guy, but there's so many things that just feel like are obvious to us. Mike, Day, Orrin, myself, you as a Falcon fan, you as a football fan. And yet it's not obvious to the people who are in charge who need to make the change. And that's disturbing. That's what's bothering me. If you made the changes and it still didn't work, well, damn it, they're better than we are. They got better players than we do. They executed better than we did. But they're not doing those things. And so that is the frustrating part about this and why we find ourselves talking about this every single week, it seems like. Hey, go ahead. I know you want to add something before we get out of here.
No, there was a moment yesterday. Shout out to Mark Zeno. He posted a video a friend sent him. It was the first drive the Falcons had out of the half. They're going down the field, and you see Kirk Cousins make a check at the line, and you see two wide receivers on the outside go, like they have no idea what's going on. They are completely clueless to what the check is, what the play is. You hear me yell, can. And then you just see the receivers go like, I have no idea what's going on. Kirk subsequently throws a football that is nowhere near wide receiver. Our receiver's running one route. Kirk throws the ball to another route. And if that wasn't like a perfect encapsulation of the wires are just all
no mess.
Up. There is everything is jacked up.
No. By the Arthur Blank's got to be watching this. We'll talk about it because I don't know how you could go through another. How do you don't stop the bleeding right now if you're the owner of the team?
Did you finish that bottle, Carl?
That was good bourbon, man. At Weller.
Did you finish?
Here's what's funny. First, I'm a connoisseur of fine things, so everybody was like, "You gonna spend that good liquor on them guys?" That's all I drink. I only drink fine alcohol.
Right.
No,
life's
man,
too short.
I think I finished half a bottle, but look, it's not like I pulled out a bottle Eagles Rare 17. Okay, I didn't pull out some unique bottle that I would never touch or maybe have a sip from. Bottom line is, if you're not drinking watching this team, something's wrong with you. They're driving everybody to drink. And all I was going to say, Mike, is this in closing. And guys, we want you to be there too today. We got a lot of stuff, and we want to hear from you too. A lot of stuff to talk about. The Brian Kelly firing is very interesting, and that opens up another SEC job. We'll definitely dive into that as well. But it is a Falcon Monday. To your point about the receivers, here's the deal. And I've come to this conclusion after watching him on Sunday because it was his chance to ball out. And I got a few texts from people saying, watch Kirk ball out. He didn't do a damn thing. Kirk's washed, and he stole money coming here. He just did. Mike, this is why nobody's traded for him. The idea was he could play his way into a job maybe at the trade deadline. That ain't happening. Nobody's trading for Kirk Cousins. So it is what it is. Let's stop complaining about what he did and how much money they paid. He came here and stole money. Couple of good games, whoop-de-doo, he's washed.
Right.
That
Mooney was wide open. I mean, the one chance to maybe keep the game respectable or keep it in contact. And
overthrows.
I mean, that's six. If nothing else, it's a 40, 50-yard game, but I thought it was a touchdown. And look, I know there's going to be some rust there, but come on, that's a play you can make. That's when he was banging himself in the helmet.
Well, here's the thing. A guy like Cousins is supposed to make everybody better. Right. That didn't happen yesterday. No.
He raved about the fact that he thought, because he's a veteran, like, I have the utmost confidence on Kirk's ability because of who he is and how much he's played in this league.
Yeah. And
what Flacco has done the last 2 weeks for the Bengals.
Already. They should have won yesterday, by the way. They should have won. He played well enough to win. That's what I'm talking about, Day. Flacco can still play. Kirk Cousins, I'm over it. Nice story. He's washed, and he's not going anywhere. All right, 2:00. Be there. Dukes and Bell. We invite you to tell your friends. We're going to have a discussion about all of this with you. All right? Guys, we'll talk to you at 2:00.